uh, here with us. I greet you all with the best of greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. It is with great honor and responsibility that I stand before you to anchor this presentation as we explore a theme that defines not just our career, but our future. Clinical excellence, research, and leadership, the career power of medical residency training. Today is not just about discussion, it's about direction. Before we go further, let me call Dr. Murtala Bello Ibrahim to lead us in an opening prayer. Dr. Murtala.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello.
Murtala, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum to all. Let's take 30 seconds to pray in our respective beliefs. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. May Almighty Allah make this discussion a fruitful one, and may it be a successful discussion. Bijahi Sir al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Over to you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Murtala, our immediate past president. The next item on the agenda is introduction of our guest. In our midst, we have the only president in the realm of Nigerian Medical Association affiliates. They tagged him the militant president. He embraced it militantly and strategically give us results. Through his strategic leadership, he reignites the light known with Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors. The only president that embraces all, the only president that is open to all. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome President Muhammad Usman Suleiman, the PIMUS of NAD, heavily represented by Isa Tijani, the caucus leader of Northwest. You are highly welcome, sir. As a student
thank you very much, sir. Good evening, all. Thank you very much, sir.
As a student in medical microbiology, during our first lecture, we were all amazed and carried away by the charisma and the prowess of one of our lecturers. His calm demeanor, his simplicity and way of delivering lectures aimed him almost everybody's favorite lecturer. He has his ways of identifying the weakness of most of his students and offering practical ways of addressing those problems. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Prof. Muhammad Yahya, our guest speaker for today. Prof. Sir, you are highly welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Brahma.
The next, we call him the master of faces and names. Every one of his students here can bear me witness that your first contact with him, you will master your name and your face, and he will always identify you by your name and your rascality. As a medical student, virtually everyone in endo unit did FEMREP, with none spending more than 48 hours as FEMREP. everyone can bear us witness, is that rascality that will result into your sacking. Sir, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Prof. Anas Ahmad Sabir, our chairman of today. Sir, you are highly welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Abdurrahman.
Sir, the changes Udut is seeing under your leadership is well palpable and well appreciated, sir. May God be your guide.
I mean, thank you, sir.
In our mix, we have the Deputy Chairman Medical Advisory Committee, Research, Prof. Abubakar Panti. Sir, you are highly welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdurrahman. It's a pleasure to be here.
In our mix also, we have Dr. Altini Aliyu Nuruddin, the MD-CAN president. Sir, you are MD-CAN president, Udut Sokoto. Sir, you are highly welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. The first chairman, MD-CAN Udut. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I can see one of our teacher, Prof. Fatima Bello Jia, Professor of Pediatrics. Ma, you are highly welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Abdurrahman. It's a pleasure to be here.
Other executive members of Udut ARD, our immediate past president, Dr. Murtala Bello Ibrahim, principal members of the House of Association of Resident Doctors Udut. I welcome you all to this important gathering. Thank you all for availing your time to join us. Next item on the agenda is welcome address by ARD Udut President, Dr. Mujtaba Umar. Sir, you are highly welcome.
Good evening, our respected teachers, fathers, senior colleagues and colleagues. It is my pleasure this evening to welcome you all to this important occasion. Thank you so much for finding time out of your tight schedule to attend this important program. We are honored. We sincerely appreciate you for this. Let me sincerely appreciate our able Chief Medical Director in person of Prof. Anas Ahmed Sabir. Thank you so much, sir, for finding time to grace all our occasions. This indeed gives us so much confidence. It encourages us to keep going, and it does a lot in our progress. Thank you for finding time to be here, and thank you for accepting to share this occasion despite your tight schedule. To our able presenter, Prof. Yahya Muhammad, I remember contacting him like 1 week to the time just last week to tell him about the lecture. And he said, Mujtaba, you call me about it, I will do it. Despite he's currently not even in the country, but he still accepts to offer this lecture. The ARD Udut will forever remain grateful for this. Can just so thank you so much for always willing to impact on us. The NAD president, Dr. Muhammad Usman Suleiman, thank you so much, sir, for finding time to be here. He was actually in very close contact with me, even this like an hour to this program, where he received a call that he has to leave to Abuja for an urgent national matter. But yet he sends a representative, the caucus leader of the Northwest, Dr. Isa Tijani. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for accepting to do this representation within the very short period of time. To our DC Max, Prof. Panti, to our other invited guests, Prof. Pati, thank you so much, Fatima Jia. Thank you so much, ma, and sir, for joining this occasion. I so much appreciate those that I couldn't call. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. The choice of this topic, the clinical excellence, research, and leadership, the career power of our medical residency training is born out of a desire need to encourage our colleagues to come and join this program, a very prestigious and important program. And that inform our decision of the audience, which include the medical student, the house officers, the medical officers, the senior colleagues, and everybody to come here and let's discuss about this important issue of our program, and also to enlighten us that are in the program of the needs, of the opportunities, and of the needs for us to tighten our belts and make a good use of our time. The presenter was well chosen, as well as the chairman of the occasion. I'm optimistic that the presentation will be apt and all of us will leave here well encouraged to continue pursuing our career, and the younger ones will feel so much encouraged to come and join this important program and benefit from it. I welcome you all to this program and thank you so much for gracing our invitation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The next item on the agenda is is opening remarks by the chairman of the occasion, Prof. Anas Ahmad Sabir. And at this juncture also, I will hand over the mic to him to continue chairing the meeting. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdurrahman. The NAD president represented, the guest speaker, who is somebody well known to us, Prof. Yahya Mohammed, the deputy CMAC research, our own Professor Panti, and other senior colleagues that have joined, the ARD executive Udud and ARD members, and of course medical students and others. Good evening. I think mine is just very simple. It's just to chair this occasion. The ARD Udud approached me that they have this program, and I've said I'll participate. And to the glory of God, we're here. Now, the choice of this topic is very, very important. We have a situation where residents and others, or where doctors are not willing to join residency, unlike what was obtainable before. And the need to educate people, to tell them the importance of this, cannot be overemphasized. If you are practicing in Nigeria or you plan to leave Nigeria, you cannot do without residency. And it's so important that we have this presentation. And no wonder we have somebody that is very good in clinical excellence, research, and leadership, Professor Yahya, who is here now to deliver this. He has gone through residency, not in one place, in several places. He has done in Maiduguri, he has done in Sokoto and other centers. So he knows so much about residency, and he also knows so much about research and clinical excellence. Therefore, I feel his choice is so good. To us in the management of Udut, we will listen carefully. We'll also see what can be useful to us and the other younger generations, so that we trickle this information down. Beyond that, we just want to, I don't want to take all your time, but it's just to appreciate Udut ARD and for what they have been doing. They have been making us proud. The pass rate in the exams from resident in Udut is now very excellent. It's not only the pass rate, also the performance, the rate at which we collect prizes. Best part 1 candidate, best part 2 candidate in dissertation, best part 2. We have them virtually in all the exams. And it's something that is highly commendable, and it's something that we are highly appreciative of. It tells us that you are putting in much so that we can achieve this. With this, I appreciate you and I thank you for what you have been doing. Keep on doing this so that our younger ones will also benefit. This alone, passing exam, alone will encourage and motivate the younger ones to join. And that is something that is highly commendable. So I thank you and I welcome you to this event. Without wasting much time, I think we move to the next item on the agenda. And that item on the agenda is citation of the guest speaker. Dr. Abraman, I think you should do the citation so that immediately after that, we go to the presentation of the theme by the speaker. So please, let's go to the citation of the guest speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It is my pleasure to be the one to read the citation of Prof. Yahya Muhammad, who happens to be one of our mentors, our teacher, and someone we always look up to. Prof. Yahya Muhammad is a medical doctor specializing in clinical microbiology and infectious diseases with a strong background as a laboratory physician and international field epidemiologist. Passionate about One Health and improving healthcare access, Dr. Muhammad is dedicated to advancing quality care delivery systems through research, education, and outbreak response. Skilled in clinical research, infectious disease surveillance, outbreak investigations, teaching, and mentorship, he holds a Master of Public Health from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Nigeria, complemented by an MBA and distinguished fellowships in medical laboratory medicine, both Fellowship of Medical College of Pathology and Fellowship of West African College of Pathologists. Currently serving as training coordinator in Faculty of Laboratory Medicine, West African College of Pathologists, Faculty of Laboratory Medicine, with expertise in medical microbiology and parasitology. Dr. Muhammad combines clinical excellence with public health leadership to drive impactful health solutions. He is presently an independent consultant with the Gates Foundation in the Nigerian country office, Abuja, having most recently served as project coordinator for the Gavi-funded Zero-Dose Learning Hub of the African Field Epidemiology Network, AFENET. Prof. Muhammad Yahya is also a one-time president of Association of Resident Doctors, Usmanu, University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Prof. Muhammad Yahya, our guest speaker for the day. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much. Okay.
No, thank you very
CMD,
much.
sir.
Yeah, please proceed
Yes.
with your presentation.
Thank you so much, my CMD. And I'm glad you have the chance to attend this presentation. And I owe a lot of what I achieved in life with your magnanimity and support. I cannot forget the support you rendered to me when I went to do my training, and thank you. So I'll go straight to the lecture because of time constraint. But before I do that, I want to recognize the presence of the Chief Medical Director, Professor Anas Ahmed Sabir, the CMAC, Dr. Professor Usman Sani, the DCMAC Research, Professor Abakar Fanti, my good friend, the immediate past MD Kantia, here with us, Dr. Professor Fatima Bellogia, NAD President, ARD President, and also the former ARD President Udut, other distinguished colleagues that are here. Good evening. I can't see I don't know which view I'm using. Dr. Katagum, I can't see the slides. I don't know. I'm sharing, but I can't see. So I don't know how to change this view. Okay. All right. Katagun, can you assist me with this? All right. So please, can you see my slide?
Yes, Prof.
Yes, Prof. Sir.
Yes, you can see your slide.
I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop it and then reshare again. I'm having difficulty
That's the only
navigating.
thing you can do.
Sorry.
If it's giving you trouble, you stop and reshare.
Okay. All right. I will do that now. Thank you. So is it okay now?
It's a blank page.
It's moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sharing now.
It's coming now.
Okay. Okay. So thank you. This lecture is going to be brief, but it's going to be focused. It is on clinical excellence, research, leadership, the career of medical residency training. As mentioned by the CMD, it is a timely lecture, especially with the dwindling nature of residents we are having, and also with a lot of confusion and people trying to confuse our resident everywhere, thinking that they have made a wrong choice. Please do not take this sermon from them. Take the correct information from us. Now I'm going to have with an opening reflection. Now I'm going to look at the three pillars, starting with clinical excellence, the research, and then finally leadership. And then I will have, we'll take a look at how residency can help in national development. Now, residency is not just a training, it is actually a career turning phase. It is one of the most decisive transformation that you can embark upon in your career as a medical student or as a medical doctor. In fact, I remember when I was in a dilemma after finishing medical school, and I met Professor Rafindadi. I told him that I want to go and embark on master's and PhD. We call it Kadami Albarka. That's what we used to say then, that the short one with blessing. But he told me a statement that still rings in my ear. He told me that whatever you are going to do in Nigeria for the next 50 years, residency is going to be relevant. And truth be told, residency is going to be relevant in the next 50 years, no matter the politics involved, because of the issues around it and because of the training you get through it. So it helps to shape your clinical judgment. It helps in your scientific thinking. It also gives you a leadership identity, and it gives you a lifelong professional direction. But then a lot of us get this upside down because we just think just by passing through residency and then becoming a consultant that is all. No, just doing residency and going back to become a content creator on TikTok is not enough. You need to actually use residency to shape your mind, to shape your thinking. What do you really want to do? Do you want to be an excellent surgeon? Do you want to be a clinician? Do you want to be a researcher? Do you want to be whatever you want to do? Residency is going to shape you, but then it is the starting point. It's not the end. Do not take it as the end point. Now, this conversation is very important, and that justify the wise choice from the leadership of ARD in Udut, because now we have rapidly changing environment with the advent of technology. We have a lot of information that processing it is difficult. A lot of AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, a lot of open AI, large language models that you can use, to the extent that you can't find out which one is the correct one. And don't get confused. Everybody uses AI now, but people pretend as if they don't. Some people even in their WhatsApp chat, that's what they do to what they use to respond. But then there is responsible and ethical use of AI, and there is also the irresponsible and the unethical use of AI. There is no problem using it, but then you have to use it responsibly. Another issue has to do with the growing demand for research productivity everywhere you are, whether you are in the government cycle, whether you are in the non-governmental organization, there is demand for research. At a point in time, in one of the jobs that I do, almost 60% of my time goes into writing grant or managing grant. And it is even more than when I was in the teaching hospital setting. So, but you need to know that research is a lifelong career for some people. There is also expanding need for health system leadership. We need to be, we are the leaders of the team, and then we need to be frontal in how we handle situation. There is increased also global competition and mobility. If you are within a cycle that tell you that you are doing too much, please leave that cycle. You are not in the right cycle. A cycle that should challenge you and make you feel you need to do best. That's what you need to do. You need to be among these Indians and see how they strive for excellence. They outcompete, they outwon most of these other Caucasians, and that's why they are everywhere. They are in IT, they are in tech, they are in healthcare, because Indians do not want to be second in any endeavor they find ourselves into. As resident, we must therefore strive to be excellent clinician. We must strive to be independent researchers. We should also strive to be transformational leaders. And leadership in itself is a knowledge that you need to get passively and also actively. Now, let's look at the three pillars. These three pillars are talking about the clinical excellence, research, leadership, research and scholarship, and also the leadership influence are what I call the tripods that true power or true career power will emerge. You can only be successful when you combine these three pillars together and you move ahead. Now, looking at pillar one, clinical excellence is just more than knowledge, as a clinician, your reputation begins at the bedside. But I also say that this also begins when you are in medical school. I will take you through memory line. Most of you that will do preclinical 100, 200, and 300 level, you enter into 400 level, no problem. But it is when you start your clinical posting that you will understand the power of collaboration, the power of going to bedside, coming back, discussing. But have you not noticed that sometimes you talk in a group discussion or in class and everybody laugh? It means your reputation is very bad. When you talk and people laugh, they are not taking you serious. It means you need to do more, and it starts from medical school. Sometimes it can follow you into residency if you are not careful. People will always see you. Once they see you as a joker, and that is a very bad reputation. So your reputation starts with your colleagues in medical school, and then it graduates to your lecturers who will see you as a serious person, and then to your patient that will see you as a serious person. You need to have a sound diagnostic reasoning. People need to know that when you are going to do any procedure on them, that they are going to be safe, and that all what you do is ethical, and that you are compassionate, and that you are somebody that I can tell you my secret and you will not divulge it, and you will be consistent even under pressure. Now, when you combine this character, people will trust you, and your clinical excellence will go on to be top notch. Now, residency build this clinical mastery because residency provides you with high volume patient exposure. You work under a structured supervision. You receive feedback, and you also give feed forward. And there is progressive responsibility that is assigned depending on your level of training, starting as a resident and then graduating to senior resident position, to chief resident position. All these are positions of responsibility and authority that are given to you based on trust. There is also exposure to complications and a lot of uncertainty. Sometimes we go on peaceful demonstration, either in the form of strike, which is unfortunate, but then sometimes it can be necessary, but we also need to understand that we cannot prolong it. We have to devise means of biting and chewing, because whatever is prolonged will not have any impact. We also need to have discipline of documentation and audit, because what is not written or what is not documented is not done, regardless of which discipline you are talking about or who will you quote. Now, once you have this experience and they are embedded in you, they will create confidence and they will create credibility, and people will trust you. I don't need you to mention any names, but in your mind, we all know of a colleague that you will not want to see you, either because even if he is good academically, he knows all the book, but probably he doesn't keep secret. You can bring your wife to him, or you can come and see him, and before you know it, half of Udut will know what is wrong with you. Or someone that means he's not competent, he doesn't follow ethical standard. Or someone that we know that can keep secret, but unfortunately you know that he's not a good clinician. We all have that one or two friends that are doctors, but we do not trust them. So it is not good to also go around telling about him or speaking in a negative way. But we also need not to be that person. Now, the next pillar that I'm going to discuss is research and scholarship. Now, modern medicine demands us to be evidence creators. We should not only be users. Now, how do we create evidence? Is by venturing into research. There is a lot of grants, in fact, more than you can count, in different currencies that you can access. But you can only access them if you know how to apply for them. And there are also, I know the management is doing a lot in making sure that our research and ethics unit is sound and we have all the proper documentation. So you have a platform to apply. And once you keep on applying, one day you are going to be successful. And you also need to have the right network. Once you embark on research during residency, is going to build what we say critical thinking. You will think outside the box. It will also improve your clinical decision making, and it will open your world for academic and global opportunities. And it is going to strengthen you in grant publication. And once you have any grant, it always comes with publication, either at the beginning as a form of baseline assessment, need assessment, scoping review, or towards the middle to do a midterm analysis, or at the end, you are going to report on the findings and the impact you have been able to make. And research is the only thing that can convert experience into knowledge. Now, do not stop at thinking that your whole aim or your whole career in life is to pass fellowship examination. That once I pass part 2, you are going to pass the part 2, then what? You need to have a plan that I'm going to become a consultant, I'm going to pass my fellowship examination or my part 2 examination, then I'm going to chart a career way for myself. You should have a plan, 1-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, and 20-year plan. Where do you need to see yourself in the next 5-10 years? You also need to understand that it's not just about submitting the thesis and it getting approved, you passing the examination. No, what next? You should be able to become, the residency should be able to give you a career pathway to define what you are going to do in the future. Do not become a jack of all trades. We are seeing your publication today. You are talking about diabetes. Tomorrow, you jump into cardiovascular system. The next day, you at least at the level of residency is okay. And then we know some specialties do delve into that. That's also okay. But then you need to be focused and oriented. And even if you deviate, no problem. I know that I have taken epidemiology as a second column, but if you look at my publication and grants, 80% of them are on infectious disease. I know I have some related to epidemiology that are not co-infectious disease, but they are not pulling me away from my own pathway and from my own direction. You need to aim for publication. You need to be able to out-innovate. You also need to have power of collaboration. You also need to be visible. When people search your name as a researcher, it starts from even residency. You should be able to have Google Scholar and this other research gate. You should have this. I know that we have institutional emails and you can all access these opportunities by using your official email. ResearchGate, Google Scholar, make sure you are registered in all of them. This ORCID, it's not when they ask you to for a publication that you start looking for them. You also need to be involved in policy. You should have some strategic thinking and policy. I know at the level of the medical advisory committee, residents are also invited. The leadership of the residents are invited to be part of meetings that happen at a quarterly basis. And I know from where I was trained earlier that medical advisory committee meetings were not regular, but in Sokoto, I can give that, I can attest to the fact that we hold medical advisory committee meetings every quarter. In fact, it might even be more frequent now. I am not sure of the true situation now, but I know that throughout my stay before my short sojourn, that these meetings were regular and residents were invited. Now, there is this evolution of academic publishing power, and I'm going to take you briefly through it to look at so that we are not debated. You know, it used to be publish or perish. People are publishing just because of quantity and they were not looking at quality. And a lot of us enter into that trap at the beginning of career. Almost all of us, if you look at our CB, at one point or another, we must have published in one of these predatory journals. Just because you publish once and they have access to your email, you see them sending you invitation, come and publish. And unknowingly, some of us took some of our most valuable research to them without mentorship and without advice. And we end up realizing later on that these are actually predatory journals. They are 419 journals. There are a lot of them. So please, you should publish only quality in quality journals. The second thing that people stop bothering about publishing journals, they are now talking about citation. Okay, now you should publish and get cited. So what? Now, if you are cited, you have 100,000 citation. So what? It is important, but it's not everything. We need to have a balance, having quality and also getting citation. People will not cite your work if it is not of quality. And once you build reputation through citations, I know that I applied for one non-governmental job and I was taken because simply of my publication and citation. It is an important thing, but it's also not everything. You need to balance it up. But the topmost direction now is the concept we call knowledge translation. People now are thinking that now you have published in a quality journal, you have citation. Now, what has your research caused? Has it caused any change in policy in the country you practice? Has it brought about new things? Who have benefited from your research? You will agree with me that this is difficult to measure, but this is the direction of academia now. So just when you are embarking on research, think about the things we do normally. How is my research going to solve a problem? And that is how, even when you apply for grant, this is part of what they assess. Is your research going to translate into knowledge? Is it going to be useful to the community? How is it going to help? We have conducted policy brief and policy change to legislators at different level, from state to national level, even to executive. Sometimes you go to him, he just want to hear one word, and you have a lot of you have 5,000 words you want to summarize, and he will ask you in one sentence, please tell me how this will benefit my constituency. And then if you have not think or thought of it ahead of time, you just be lost and you won't know what to say. And sometimes I know of an research that we did on antimicrobial resistance. And when we met one of these executive, he asked us that how is this research helpful to him? And I was able to recall that we did what we call DALI. That is, you have years live with disability and then years of life lost. And then this economic component, talking about the disability adjusted life years. So the only thing I tell him is that people are dying. Life expectancy, assuming, is 70 years in Nigeria. Now, people with AMR, based on that research, are dying at the age of 40, 45, instead of them to reach 70 years. So this is something that can pick, that piqued his interest. Okay, so my people are dying younger. So you mean if I solve this issue about antimicrobial resistance, my people will live longer? I say yes. Now, this is something that resonates well with politicians. All of them want to live long. So if you tell them that this problem will make you to die younger, they will want to solve that problem. Now, the last pillar is about the issue of leadership. You hear this discussion among residents. I mean, I'm not interested in leadership. I'm interested in just passing my exam, see my patient, and that's all. Everybody, almost at every point in time, we all have that delusion, but that is not the reality of life. The reality of life is that all of us were born to be leaders, either at your home. If you are a female, you lead your children, and sometimes you even lead the husband if he is not careful. And if you are the husband, you also lead the family. And as a consultant, you are also a leader. You lead clinical teams, you manage services and resources, you guide younger colleagues, you influence policy and system. So residency is where this leadership identity begins. Please volunteer in a lot of committees. Do not overdo it, but make sure that you are at least in one committee doing one thing or another, either at your department, at the hospital level, in NMA, or in ARD. Is going to develop your confidence, is going to sharpen your career. If you run away from leadership, when leadership is interested upon you, you find out that you cannot survive, because when people were learning, you were busy forming theories that were not tested, and you think that this theories is what will last. Now, there are leadership lessons that residency teaches us. It teaches us responsibility without giving excuses. And you find out that you do this every day in your ward rounds, in your clinic, in your interaction with patient, in the theater. It also shows you teamwork across different hierarchy. It is a residency that you learn to respect, even I can say the security officer, because one issue from him can mess your whole activity. You also learn how to communicate in crisis. It also teach you how to make decisions with limited resources, and it shows you service before recognition. Now, these are foundations for national health leadership, and you will not know, but you are silently imbibing and assimilating these lessons. Now, there is what I call the residency advantage. And doctors who maximize residency, they end up having clinical authority, they have academic credibility, they also have leadership opportunities, and they have global competitiveness, and long-term career security. Residency is one of the greatest equalizer you can have in medicine. Now, I'm gradually moving towards the end of this lecture, and I want to pay you attention. I want you to pay attention to this point, very important. There are some common mistakes that residents make. Sometimes we focus only on examination. We end up not learning necessary that are needed for us to succeed in life. We burn bridges. We don't learn the power of collaboration. We also avoid leadership roles, as I mentioned earlier, and we also ignore research output. Presenting in conferences. I know in Sokoto in the last 1 year, we have almost 3 or 4 national and also regional conferences. Try and present in even one of them. And you should also try and have manuscripts as under guidance of your mentors. We also have poor mentorship capability. You should know that you are a mentor, you are also a mentee. Professor Sani Usman in pediatrics is your mentor. You are his mentee. You should also have a mentee among your residents that are just coming in, so that you can be passing what you learn. That's how we operate in medicine. You always have a mentor, and you should have also a mentee. That's the way life goes on. Now, you also should, a lot of residents delay career planning. They are just thinking about Japan. What do I do? Should I go to Saudi Arabia and get money? Money is not the problem. Money is not an issue. You get money. Just do the residency very well. There are different ways you can get legitimate money, even inside the country, without going out. And when you put hard work and sincerity, God has a way of rewarding you without you doing what other people are doing extra. And once you lose years from residency, they're actually very difficult to recover. There is one issue here, and sometimes some people are not blessed with a fortunate spouse during residency, and there is no single way out of that, because one of the strongest pillar that you can have is a supportive spouse, regardless of your gender. And once that equation is missing, you find it very difficult to cope. And one issue that people do is to take residency as a career. I know some people that have done residency over 10 years. I know some that have done it over 20 years. Do not think I'm exaggerating. I know them. But you are lucky in Sokoto. The system does not even allow that. In Sokoto, once you stay over a period of time, the management are going to call you. They will give you warning. Once you didn't comply, they will send you away. And this is part of the encouraging statement that I'm going to inform the management that this is what is leading to the good pass rate, and also the prizes that the chief medical director mentioned residents are winning from Sokoto. It's not compared to other centers that do not implement this. I know a lot of centers in the north that allow residents to stay. And I mentioned to you, I know residents that have stayed for 20 years. I know some 15, some 10. You cannot have that in Sokoto because the system does not allow it. And I want the management to continue emphasizing on that. Now, there are some career strategy that we need to do during our residency. We should master clinical competence. Make sure that before you finish, you have at least 5 manuscripts. Make sure that you have network of mentors that you can always go back to advise you. Make sure that your subspecialty is, you have a keen interest and you have developed that subspecialty interest. Even if your field does not have a subspecialty, you should also learn how to not only publish, but how to write and win grants, and you should also learn how to teach. I know that I started in my second year of residency. I was assigned the role of teaching medical student. And in Maiduguri, they were in 500 level. So our age gap at that time was not very far. And some of them will go and read, especially the males, to embarrass me. And I have to counter read above them to ensure that I stay on top. So these are part of the things that you need to do. Make sure that at least you follow your mentor when he's going to class consistently, and one day he will allow you to either teach at bedside, tutorial, or lectures. Once you develop that teaching ability, that's fine. Now, we also need to develop national and international visibility. Now, looking at how residency can help us in national development, a strong training will produce better patient outcome. It will give us stronger teaching hospital, more relevant research, and effective health system leadership. And investing in a resident is investing in the future of Nigeria. Now, I want to give us some personal reflection, and I am saying this with all sense of humility. I have my seniors and mentors that are here in this lecture, specifically the CMD, Professor Fanti, and also a lot of my colleagues, people that I hold in high regard. So I'm just telling this story with all sense of humility, but to also ensure that we strive to be the best. Number one, my own journey, so that some of you can be motivated. When you talk of clinical expertise, I have fellowship of National and also West African College. It's okay if you have one, it's not a problem, but it's just an opportunity that I found myself in, and I find that I can be able to cope well. But I end up tilting more to West Africa, that a lot of people even forget that I have national, because that's how life is. National as a faculty do not involve us much in their activity, but West Africa, we happen to be, until recently, but West Africa in the last 7 or 8 years, I happen to belong to most of the activities they do in the faculty. Now, when you talk of academic promotion, I became a professor in less than 9 years. I started in 2014, March, and then I was a professor by 1st January 2023. 3 years before that, Federal University Dutse gave me professorship to leave Sokoto, but I converted it into visiting, because I don't want, it's not pride, but if you leave your primary interest, people will always refer you to, is that not that Yahya that couldn't become a professor in Sokoto and has to go to a new generation, Dutse, to begin from? It's not pride, God knows, but it is important in this profession to protect your reputation. And I know that at that 2014, I was a senior registrar, and I thank specifically the CMAC. At that time, they gave me a honorary appointment with the teaching hospital, and I know that I happen to be part of the few that benefited from that magnanimity. But I was also given lecturer 1, which was a position that was reserved for consultants as a senior resident in the university. I was given that position because of publications. I had 10 publications, and that time the requirement was around 5. And out of those 10 publications, I think 4 of them I was first author. I was only able to get that because I applied myself during residency, and I was able to publish with my mentors. And sometimes I hear residents, they will say, I don't want him to use you. In life, somebody must use you. If your mentor did not use you, you will end up being used by your mentee, or even some people that are not desirable. I was also international program leadership at the national level, and also I was once a president of ARD in University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital before coming back to Sokoto. And I also hold a lot of grants, and I'm not going to disclose the amount, but they are in different denomination. Grants are not personal money. They are money meant for travels, for research, for attending conferences and the rest. And we have convened a lot of national political forum. And you can only achieve this when you are serious during the residency years. This is just to show you. A lot of you do not have research gates, but I'm just putting this snapshot of my Google Scholar for you to see the need to do research and get cited. You need to have a H index, I-10 index, and also you need to be well cited. And when people search your name in PubMed, your publications should come in. As at the time I prepared this lecture, I had 59 publications in PubMed, and this is still counting. Now, I'm saying this without any element of pride, but to motivate colleagues and to know that residency is the way forward. And I was able to gain an award from United States, US based on an intervention we did in Adamawa on hepatitis B bad dose. And also the university recognized my grant ability. So these are all things that were made possible because of the training I had as a resident. Now, to round up, this is just to show you some scoring pattern. The way this is Federal University of Health Science Azare is one of the new universities of health science. I'm just showing you how they rank in academic promotion so that you will know. Under qualification, once you have MBA fellowship, it is 10. This teacher experience, they count the time, number of years you have been in the university, the time you rank between your last promotion and this, and then teaching law. Now, they also count your postgraduate qualification. Now, this is why I want to take you to 6, which is research publication. You see, these are points, and there is a way we score this point. So you see, for professor is 70. There is research impact. This research impact in Azare, I find what we don't have in Sokoto. Not that it's better, but it's also good. In this impact, they look at your grant and they score it. They look at your score of H index in Google Scholar and they add it to your research impact. And you need to have it. Your grants and H index should be up to it before you are promoted as a professor. That's the I-10 index. And then they also measure your leadership ability. You remember some people are dodging from leadership. All this leadership, they are going to count it depending on where you are, and also public or community service and professional activities. Now, this is to compare with our own promotion guidelines, Sokoto. Now, the difference is that we have research output, which is on abstracts, conferences, and then we also have computer literacy. You must have a certificate of computer and you must do a practical exam where they will test your computer skills for you. You have to pass before you are promoted. And then another difference is that we also have relationship with colleagues. You have to have good relationship with people around you before you are promoted. Now, what I want to charge all of us is, please do not just strive to finish residency. Use residency to build network, collaboration, influence, and power. And this power is what will lead to healing with excellence. It is what will lead to help you to discover, to be discoverable through research, and it will also help you to lead with integrity. And you should know that your future patient, institution, and your nation depend on you being a skillful consultant. Now, I want to give you this parting word. I want you to aim in the next 12 months to have 2 solid manuscripts that are submitted, not as preparation. You need to have 2 conference output as abstract, oral, or posters, especially to the senior residents. And you also need to have 2 service or leadership role with evidence of appointment, either in any committee, in ARD, in NMA, or even in the hospital committee, or in some sort of other professional association. This will give you, this is a practical way for you to learn without, to create momentum without burnout. And I'm happy the chief medical director and his management staff are here. And probably what I will charge or recommend to the CMD is to continue that aspect of making sure that residents that exceed limit are advised and counseled before termination. Because if we lax on that finding, we are going to see a dropout rate. Residency is not a career. It is something that we need to do and finish on time. That's number one. Number two, also the management need to continue rewarding excellence. I'm aware that there is an annual event whereby people from different departments are honored. Now, this is very good and very commendable. Now, I know we have issue with funding. Last year, there was no capital expenditure that was released, but we didn't know it till now. And the final charge I will do to the chief medical director and his management team is that I know before now, they used to sponsor residents for international attachment, but I don't know what happened. Sokoto was known for this very well, but I don't see that happen in the last couple of years. Just a final call to the chief medical director to find a way to sponsor our resident, even for short term, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks international attachment. At least let's sponsor, even if it is 1 senior resident per department per year. This is very important, and I hope the management will listen and heed to this advice. On behalf of all of you that are here with me, we started with a number that was not up to 50, and now we have 90 participants online. I want to thank you for the opportunity and for the honor done to me to invite me to share my experience. Thank you, Dr. Mujtapa, you and your management, your team, for inviting me to share my reflection. It is more of a discussion rather than a one-sided lecture. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you, Professor Muhammad Yahya, for the lecture well delivered. We expect nothing less from you, and thank you. You have done excellently well. It has been quite an interesting lecture. You should have finished 15 minutes ago, but because the lecture was quite interesting, I left you without notifying you. So we thank you. We have heard about the research, the teaching, and so many other things. The take-home message they have heard. And there are other things we need to emphasize to the younger ones. Prof. Yahya has already mentioned it, that you should ensure that you teach the younger ones. The more you teach them, the more knowledge is being transferred and the more knowledge stays with you. So that is very important. And then you should take position of responsibilities. If you dodge responsibilities, you may not have any other opportunity to do that again. So it's very important when you are given a responsibility, you should take charge. Another very important issue is the issue of using the opportunity during residency to learn. If you try to dodge things and eventually pass the exam, it will show later in life, and there is nothing you can do about it. You cannot go back to it because you have already passed that stage. So please try to use the opportunity and do what you are in for. We are not too surprised about Prof. Yaya. You did your residency here with us. You finished on time, passed both colleges, and you encourage the younger ones to join residency. You establish residency in your department against all odds. No wonder we now have residents coming to microbiology. Usually you see people not even coming for residency, but if they're coming to the lab, you can be rest assured it's microbiology. It's just because of the mentorship of Prof. Yahya and the people in that place. So we appreciate you and we thank you. The comments you have made about management, the management has heard, and we'll do our best to see that we support the system. The only very important thing you need to know that I'm also going through transition. That in the next couple of months, I'll be a free man. I may probably come to you to know how to get grant, so that my pocket will be larger than what it is now. So we thank you very much. Without wasting more time, I think we'll entertain questions and or comments. I think what we will do, we may entertain, for those that have questions or comments, they should signify by raising their hands so that we can identify some of them and let them make their comment then before we go to the next aspect. So please, if you have any question or comment, feel free to raise your hand so that we call you to do that. I don't know. Dr. Abraman also monitor, but I can't see any person signed for now. But if you have seen anyone, notify also that we can. Okay, Dr. Ibrahim Abdullahi, you can unmute yourself and then ask your question.
Thank you, Prof. Sir. Thank you, Prof. Yahya Muhammad, for the wonderful presentation. It's actually very educative, and also it sensitizes us, the residents. I am Ibrahim Abdullah from ATBU TH Bauchi, and I am an alumnus of Usman Danfodiyo University 2018. I have some questions that I want to ask Prof. One of the questions is, Prof has talked about registering with Google Scholar, PubMed, and ResearchGate. So I want to know the steps, how one can register for these research areas. Then another question is, what are the qualities? He mentioned there are some journals that are not qualitative, and some of them are even scammers. So we want to know which are the qualitative journals that you know, so that we try and get them for our publications. Then possible cost implications for each of these journals. Then the last question is how to get these grants, research grants that you have talked about, because I understand that it encourages the residents also and other researchers to continue doing research. Thank you very much, Prof, for this wonderful lecture.
So thank you very much, Dr. Ibrahim Abdullahi, for the questions. Professor Yahya will respond briefly, but some of the questions cannot be answered immediately. He will just give a highlight of what to do, but you must have to go through somebody to mentor you on how those things can be done. So Prof. Yahya, you may wish to give some brief answers, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you, CMD. And just like you mentioned, the answers will just be brief. For Google Scholar and ResearchGate, at least you should have one publication before you can register with them. And then you need to have an institutional email to do that. It is easy. Once you Google it, you see the steps. And additional learning opportunity that most of us lose is YouTube. Once you go into YouTube, you can do anything. These Indians have done thousands and thousands of YouTube. I'm always impressed by Indians, and I take them as mentors in whatever I do. There are some that are not authentic, but most of them are very good. And if you can go and pass through their accent, you'll be able, once you understand what they are doing. Once I have any problem with computer, I go to YouTube, I search, you see an Indian doing a video and you solve it for you. So ResearchGate and Google Scholar, if you have an institution email and at least one publication, you can form it, you can do it today within the next 5 minutes. The second issue on this journal, how to recognize them. There used to be something called the Bell list, but then, you know, some people protested. So we have that, we don't have that list. But it's also very easy, as the CMD mentioned. Once you have a mentor in any area that you want to publish, just ask him, is this journal predatory or not? It is as easy as ABCD. It is as differentiating yellow from black. Once you look at it, you know it is predatory. There are some other checks that we do. Don't bother about their email or telling you about their citation. There are other directories that you can check. What we do, we go to this DOAJ. If they say they are an open access journal, put their name. If they are not there, don't publish with them. Go to PubMed, put their name. If they are not there, don't publish with them. So it's also easy, but you need mentors on that. Last one on grant. Grant is writing is lifelong. It's also need mentorship. I don't know your department, but you need to get close to your senior colleagues, and then when they are writing, support them in whatever they are doing, either in the implementation and also in the writing stage. And it is a skill that you will learn with time. Yeah. So thank you, the Chief Medical Director. This is my response.
Thank you, Professor Yahya, for the answers. I think the last question, because we don't have many hands raised, is that of Dr. Abdulkadir Jafar from Udut. So please, Abdulkadir Jafar, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you, Professor. Good evening, Professor. Thank you, Prof. Yahya, for this erudite sharing of life experience. It is much more than lecture, actually. We are highly grateful to have you as a father, as a teacher, as also as a mentor. My question, I have a question. I want to ask you about the influence or the benefit of having online courses during residency program. Does they have any impact in terms of research experience, then the training experience, and then the leadership experience? Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Yahya. Please, you may wish to answer.
Okay. They are very important, Dr. Abdulkadir, very, very important to have these online courses, but just be focused and don't get carried away. You know, there is a lot of information outside, and if you are not careful, it's an ocean. You can enter the ocean, and then you are used to swimming in a swimming pool, and you enter ocean. You know you cannot survive. So just be very strategic, and you can also put more focus on your field, but it's also good to know about other areas, because if to the outside world you are a medical doctor, they don't care whether you are a microbiologist. My neighborhood where I reside now, they knock my door around 1 or 2 a.m. that one day, and if I didn't have some of this knowledge of other field, I would have been embarrassed. They wanted some quick emergency help, which had saved life. Otherwise, you know, so it's good to diversify, but it's also good to be focused on your area of specialty. And it's also good to know about current affairs and other issues as they arise. Thank you.
So thank you, Professor Yahya. And I think we may just take the last question. But before then, I find that comment about online courses to be quite interesting. It's something that is so important. And as Prof. Yahya has mentioned it, try to be focused and remain within your specialty. Now, I have gone through an online course not too long, and it's a postgraduate diploma and also an MSc from University of South Wales, which was fully sponsored by MEX Foundation. So the opportunities are there, and the Max Foundation in particular, I know, has been sponsoring people, and it's very, very, very beneficial. So please, people do get it, and it's something in thousands of pounds. So please, anytime you see those kind of things, it will not distract you from your main work. It will add value to what you are doing, and it makes it much better and easier for you. So there are a lot of things, but try to go within your specialty and try to be focused on what you are doing. So these things are very important to you. Thank you. I think we'll take the last question. And Bello Abdul Salam, please, your last question, and then we now go to the next item on the agenda. So Bello Abdul Salam, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Now, Nisa, thank you for the lecture. It has been it has been an eye opener. Thank you so much, sir. Currently, sir, I'm a house officer in Udut, and I currently have one international publication at Springer Nature, but I've been having difficulty. I want to publish more. How do you think I should go about it, sir, with my current role and engagements?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Prof. Yaya, please.
Okay, so thank you, Doc, and it is really commendable to learn that you have publication. I'm sure you were guided and supported when you had that publication in Springer Nature, and the only way you could get more publication is to have that network. You can expand your network, but sometimes I know how house job is difficult. And what I learned about house officers targeting publication, I had experience from 102. They approached Dr. Jibril and myself. We wanted to help them. We formed a group and we were pushing them to enter into that, and we gave them an assignment, but today is almost the second year, none of them delivered. I could easily put their name on any paper I want, but I won't. That's not helping them. That's just corruption. I realized that they were looking for publication because it is a requirement for JAPA. So they wanted papers because it's a requirement for JAPA. I'm not against fulfilling any requirement or any ambition you want, but they will not learn in the process. And we keep on following them, but later on we realize that they just want us to put their name on a publication, and that's all. And doing that will not help them, and we will never do that. But if we give you an assignment or a task and you carry it on, then you'll be part of our publication. You have qualified to be an author. There is criteria for you to be an author, and that criteria is online. Go to IJMCE criteria, International Journal of Medical Editors Requirement. It's there. So belong to a network, have a mentor, and then continue publishing. But just don't follow people and that put my name syndrome so that you get papers for JAPA. You can become everything in this country. I'm not against JAPA, but do it responsibly. And then finally, there is a question. I think this question is for the Chief Medical Director. So I think you are the one that should answer this question. Is there a special provision in the budget for research in tertiary health institution? Thank you.
So thank you very much, Professor Yaya. Now the question whether we have special budget for research, the truth of the matter, you can put anything in your budget if you have justification for that. So institutions can have, although 2025 was not funded at all, but it's doable. You can have a research grant, you can have it in the budget, and when you have justification for that, it's something doable. And within what the institution has also, they can sponsor some researches, not necessarily the capital project. So it's something doable, and we need to imbibe that culture to make it better than what we are doing. We focus more on clinical services. but there are other things. Research, we focus more on clinical services and training, but the research component is not very active. So it's something we encourage all researchers to come up with proposals so that we can put it in the budget. You can't just put a figure without having what is there. And we can also see if it's something. We need a research that will transform the institution, not just paper for personal promotion or anything. If you do research on infections in the theater and what can be done, that is something very good. If you do research that would change the institution, that is something. So, sincerely speaking, is something doable, and we need to imbibe that culture to make our system better. It's something doable. Thank you. So, I think we have finished the presentation and the questions and comment section. We are now going to the next aspect, which is the comment by the NAD president. So, Dr. Abdurrahman, I think you should call on the NAD president to please make his own speech.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Isa Tijani, the representative of the NAD president. Please unmute yourself and make your deposition.
Thank you very much for the recognition and the opportunity. And first and foremost, I want to stand on the already existing protocol. The CMD, the Chief Medical Director, at the same time, the Chairman of the occasion, our keynote speaker, the CMD of Udut, other respected invited guests, leaders of the Association of Resident Doctors, Udut chapter, and also the participants and attendees of this important gathering. Permit me to represent the NAD president, as he's supposed to be here and he wanted to be here, but unfortunately or fortunately, he had a call to attend to an emergency in Abuja of national concern in pursuance of our welfare. Looking at the titles, the title captures our life as a resident, and I commend Udut, IRD Udut, for the choice of this topic. The choice of the topic is so strategic, and also the keynote speaker has done, if there is over justice, we can say he has done over justice to the topic, and it's something that we have learned a lot. And I urge all our members to stick to the knowledge being shared in this lecture. Thank you very much for the sir, for this wonderful lecture. And at the same time, I will commend IRB Udut on behalf of the NAD president, and we'll also look a way to encourage our members to participate in research through our research committee. Because in NAD, we have a standing committee on research and statistics. So we will continue to expand and also to invite teachers or seniors like of the prof to continue to guide our members and to guide us. And I thank you very much, and I wish everybody safe journey back home. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you, ARD Udut.
So thank you, the president of NAD president. We really thank you for encouraging us. We have another comment by the Udut CMAC and DCMAC. What is obvious to me, I can see the DCMAC research, who is Professor Abubakar Panti. I think he's the one available. I don't think whether Usman Sani is around the CMAC. So please, Prof. Abubakar Panti, you may wish to go ahead and make your comment. If Prof. Usman
Thank you
Sani
very much. Thank you
make-
very much, CMD, for giving me the opportunity to make my comment. I didn't want to say anything because
Professor Yaya said it all. I just want to congratulate ARD for giving this this opportunity for the teaming audience to listen to this wonderful presentation. I just want to add that there is nothing like residency. Even those who opted for the shortcut, Dr. Yaya, I don't know which name he called it, are all teaming. Some of them have even come back to residency. And those of us who are residents, we are at the end of the day now going for masters and PhD because once you have residency, it's very easy to do those masters and PhD. And for completeness, honestly, there is nothing like residency. There is nothing like residency. It's better, and even if you want to japa, you jump in a big way after completing your residency. And then, of course, the residency, after completing the residency, is just the foundation to many other things to come, whether it is academic research, whether it is entrepreneurship, whether it is business, whatever you want to do, residency should be the foundation, and it makes you complete and wholesome. By the time you are a fellow, and then it gives you that discipline in whatever you want to do and that recognition. I think he has said it all, and I want to congratulate ARD Udud for bringing this on board. Thank you, over, Mr. Chairman and CMD.
So thank you very much, Professor Abubakar Panti. The residents have heard that there is nothing better than the residency. And this is very true. Many of us, we can now leave the system if we have other opportunities and still come back to the hospital afterwards as senior people. But if you refuse to do the residency, you pursue some other things. At later stage, you cannot come back to the hospital. You must stick to that place, whether it's good or bad. So we always encourage people, use your youthful age to acquire this thing. Then if you want to do other things in life, you can go and do them, but have this handy. So we thank you for your comment. I think Prof. Usman Sani, I think is not with us. And with that, I think we have come to the end of the program from what is there in the agenda. And the only thing next is the vote of thanks by the ARD General Secretary Udut Sokoto, Dr. Abdurrahman Mohammed Hassan. Dr. Abdurrahman Mohammed Hassan, please, you should go ahead. You should thank Prof. Yahya. He has done excellently well, and we are proud of him. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me the opportunity. Please permit me to stand on the already established protocol. Let me first of all start by thanking you all for sparing your time, despite your tight schedules, to grace this year's paper presentation and contribute in making it a memorable one. And I would want to say, Prof. Yahya, our guest speaker, all that you've said is well heard and well internalized. Dr. Abdulkadir Katagum, your support of always providing ARD Udut with a wider Zoom room is well appreciated. As we conclude today's session, I want us to pause for a moment and truly reflect. Residency is not easy. It stretches us, it humbles us, it tests our endurance, our patience, and sometimes even our faith. There are long nights no one applauds, difficult calls no one sees, and sacrifices our family quietly endure with us. But in all of that, something powerful is happening. We are being shaped. Every call duty refines our clinical judgment. Every research question sharpens our intellect. Every responsibility entrusted to us strengthens our leadership capacity. That is the real power of medical residency training. Clinical excellence is not an accident. It is built in moments of pressure. Research is not a requirement. It is a responsibility to improve the system we inherited. Leadership is not a title. It is a daily decision to stand up, speak up, and step up. We cannot afford to be ordinary, not in this profession, not in this generation, and not in this country. With the presence and support of our teachers, trainers, and mentors, we are reminded that we stand on strong shoulders, and we must offer similar strong shoulders for those coming after us. Let this not end as just another pre-February OGM paper presentation. Let it mark a renewed commitment, a renewed hunger for excellence, a renewed courage to lead. The future of healthcare in Nigeria is not somewhere far away. It is in this room. It is in us. Let us rise to it. Finally, may we reach our various destinations safe, and may Almighty Allah continue to protect us in all our dealings. Thank you for your resilience. Thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for choosing this noble path. God bless Association of Resident Doctors Udut. God bless Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors. God bless Udut. God bless our profession. And most importantly, God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Abraman, for your closing remarks. So please, Abraman, anything next or closing prayer?
Closing prayer, sir.
Okay, so who will do the closing prayer? Call the person, please.
We will call Dr. Abdurrahman Adamu, immediate past Speaker of Association of Resident Doctors, to give us closing prayer, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, Mr. Sotat. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Thank you very much. Okay.
So thank you very much and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you all. Christopher Ero.